The last one is Ascot Bros. Cape Verde field. Set and ready as the handler gets clear. And they're off. Untidy start that. Prevensey Bay a little bit sluggish to go. Stunning Beauty also a step slower. Monastic is happy to race behind them. Down under Bayou, got an alert start, is out in front by 2. Over Soft Whisper, who's taken a bit of a tug in second the early stages. Delaney Jujo forced to improve in the dark blue and white colours at the outside of runners. They followed by Wedding Dance, the blue jacket and red cap, as Persimona also takes a bit of a tug, signs of a pretty sedate gallop. Then comes Silent Night, also threw a head around. Prevensey Bay was allowed to improve against the inside rail. Then comes Stunning Beauty, Monastic and Ascot Brass, but the field covered by 5 lengths at the corner of the track towards the final 800 metres, and Down Under Bayou stack them up down the back straight, ups the tempo now in the first turn and in front by 1 length over Soft Whisper, who's second. Delaney Jujo forced to work at the outside. Silent Night is in the yellow colours, racing 3 deep. Then comes Persimona, one off the rail, and Wedding Dance was allowed to stride freely against the inside. Ascot Brass, then comes Stunning Beauty. Prevensey Bay's in a pocket. Monastic has got the whole field to get past, and now they head towards the home straight. Just over 400 metres left to go, and Down Under Bayou brings them into the home straight over Soft Whisper, who's second. Wedding Dance towards the inside rail, got a bit tight for him, and Ascot Brass from near the back of the field got into the open and made a lot of ground. Then comes Delaney Jujo and Silent Night next. Down Under Bayou has Ascot Brass to worry about, so too Wedding Dance in between them. Prevensey Bay is out of the pack. Ascot Brass, Prevensey Bay's finishing with a wet sail. Prevensey Bay won this going away. Prevensey Bay wins the Cape Verde over Ascot Brass, who ran big in defeat. Then came Wedding Dance. They were ahead of Down Under Bayou. After them, Persimona. Then came Stunning Beauty, who was next to finish. Silent Night. They were ahead of Delaney Jujo and Soft Whisper.
Well, Olivier Peslier wasn't just here for the Maydan sunshine, he was here to bag the Cape Verde aboard Prevensey Bay in a race of ever-changing fortunes. Inside that final couple of 100 metres, it looked for all the world as though Ascot Brass had come through to give Pat Cosgrave a double, but played later was Prevensey Bay. She was well found in the market. The stable had a couple of sighters here a couple of years ago in the form of Nisreen, and it was a perfectly pulled off ride from one of the masters of his trade. Olivier Peslier winning for the 18th time here in the UAE, and it's probably quite nice to see a bit of a surprise in this race, Mikey, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the market said that she had a shot, and the form was there. It's just there was so much to go, so much to choose from in this race, despite the only 10 filly field. But yeah, it was a proper performance and a Hall of Fame ride, basically, as we'd say back in the States. This guy is one of the best in the world and always has been, and he put it to him.
He did. It's probably suited by the way things went, Seth. I think Down Under Bayou was set quite a nice pace, or at least it seemed a bit more consistent than maybe what we've seen on the turf previously, and she's stuck around to finish 4th in the end, but just helped those that came furthest left. You can see he's actually had to switch right round the field as well.
Yeah, like you said, Down on the Bayou, she definitely put that pace to where some of these horses could close strongly, and disappointing run from the Godolphin crew in general. None of them seemed to be traveling the way you would have thought. Soft Whisper didn't have much tonight, just seemed a little flat. Peslier came into town, and this mare ran a huge race, was the best on the line, and you got to give them credit. They brought her in great form.
Well, they did, yeah. She's a 6-year-old, but she's not had too much racing, and you could argue that she was progressing last year into tackling those listed races that she did on the last couple of starts. She hit the frame in both of those, and the mile was perfect for her here, although she shouldn't have any issues with the 1800 metres of the Balanchine that will be next in the series. Ascot Brass has finished second. Wedding Dancer's run okay, but it was a no excuses run from her. She had every chance going around on the rail throughout, pretty much. Yeah,
like you said, right behind the leader, and looked to have a fine trip, but when it came to the running, just really didn't have any answer. Wasn't running on, just kind of sustaining, really. Yeah. And like you said, a really nice run from Ascot Brass. Came down the center of the track. Looked like it might be the winner at one stage. So, encouraging runs from all of those horses.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, what quite often happens is the Balanchine field is exactly the same as the Cape Verde field.
Sure.
It's a tough race to try and dissect and think what's going to go on, and the ultimate assumption is that the winner will just win again, but it doesn't quite feel like that. But I don't quite know which one is going to come out and be more suited by the 1800 metres. I mean, they have finished in a bit of a heap in the end. I think once we look back at the race, the run that Pessimona had through perhaps wasn't the cleanest. We'll see her in the white colours with the green epaulets. Maybe that one will be worthy of keeping an eye on. But the ultimate assumption is when they finish in a bit of a heap, it's not a strong contest, which is what we thought beforehand anyway.
Yeah, well, like you said, going into the next race, basically would say, Godolphin with these groups are beatable, so it's an open race, but you run this race a couple times over and you probably have three different winners. I mean, it really is largely depending on the pace and who gets the trip and all of that. So it was a competitive bunch, and we're going to look here at the break. I mean, everybody was pretty clean. And like you said, down in the bayou, went ahead and, assumed the lead. And everybody kind of had to just find their place from that point on. But, here, just talking about Wedding Dance, was on the rail but never looked comfortable, always kind of like fighting just a little bit, never seemed to just settle and kind of turn off, where you see Peslier is behind that one, and he's in a very comfortable position. His horse is turned off. You see Manasek behind that. She tried to kind of pick up the pieces, made a little run, but didn't have the quickening ability, so it's going to be a question of whether they think that this was successful or not. But again, you see the winner right on the rail getting the premier trip, just waiting for the button to be pushed.
I think it's soft whisper to... I'm not going to excuse her too much because she's ended up finishing last, but she was keen. You can see her in the all blue of Godolphin. The other Godolphin horse, Stunning Beauty in the white cap, she flatters to deceive. Olivier Peslier still second last here, but he's not panicking. Probably thinks he can get off the rail at some point. This is where Ascot Brass went to make her move. Dan on DeBeo actually gave a bit of a kick, but followed the white horse on the rail with a noseband. And that one in the green cap now just begins to run out of a bit of room. Pessimona just here. It's not just on the outside. The winner's got full momentum. I don't know, I just think looking at the 1800 metres next, that Pessimona is the one for me that's got more potential at that trip. She's already proven over further anyway, so she'd be the one I'd take out the race, but with lukewarm, I'd say. Right.
Well, I mean, just look at the way Pellier's horse did it. I mean, basically just looked like it was a matter of when he wanted that kind of run. So you're saying, if you go a little further, if that horse can repeat that trip, but then again, you have a different pace scenario. So will there be a leader like down in the bayou that competes there? But really, for Soft Whisper, there was no excuse. I mean, was sitting in the garden spot, like you said, was a little keen. But other than that, should have been able to be a part of this race. Didn't finish well, and you would think that they would have a big question mark going forward.
Yeah, definitely. To the extent, might not even see her in the Balanchine. Wedding Dance has just batted away down on DeBeo. They'll be tempted to go for the Balanchine with her. I'm sure she is proven over further. They're probably best at a mile. There you can see the nose-banded Pessimona poking her way through.